Hey,
Hi.
my name is Zinnia. I'll be the social worker that works here in this agency.
Okay.
Yeah, so tell me what's your name and tell me a little bit more about yourself.
My name is Genesis. I am a fourth year student at Southern Adventist University. A little bit about myself. I live in Canada. I'm actually a nursing pre-med major.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I'm about to graduate, so I'm pretty excited about that. And yeah.
Okay, nice, congrats. So Canada, that's cool. I've actually been to Montreal. What part of Canada are you from?
I'm from Toronto.
Oh, okay, I've never been there.
It's really nice. You should definitely go visit.
Yeah? Well, what about it makes it so nice?
Well, first of all, that's my hometown, so that's great in itself. There's a lot of diversity, a lot of multiculturalism. I really like the diversity of it. Anything from any kind of culture that you're looking for, you could definitely find it there. Very accepting of others. I like the city, and it's very city-oriented.
Oh, okay.
So I really like that too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's really nice to hear. Well, before we begin our session, Genesis, I want to tell you a little bit how I work. So this is what we're doing, what we talk about, anything you say stays here.
Okay.
We have this agreement called the confidentiality thing. So, form. So the thing is just like whatever you say stays between us unless I hear that there's like a harm to yourself, to others, or children, or elderly, an elderly person.
Okay.
And this also involves if I feel like an abuse case or anything around those lines that I feel that needs to be addressed to someone higher than me. All right, but other than that, it's just between you and me.
Great.
Do you have any questions about that or anything
Nope.
concerning? Okay, awesome. So please tell me what brought you in here today.
Well, I've been really conflicted with kind of like my life path and my career path, which has been something that my whole life, it's kind of been set on, me going to medical school, and my parents have backed it up. Ever since I was little, it's been something that my parents have wanted me to do, and I've been growing with that kind of notion of like, okay, you're going to go to medical school, and that's like the only route. But then recently, I kind of started thinking about maybe pursuing education. And maybe it might be like another passion of mine. So that's kind of what I was coming here for.
Okay, so let me get this straight. What I heard was that you're in school, you're a college student, and then you are pre-med right now currently.
Yes.
And because your parents have been pushing you to do it, and you've been pursuing that, but you're feeling a calling to go into a different career path, which is education.
Yeah.
Okay, what makes you? You said it's like you find a passion in education. Define passion. What draws you to education?
I just feel like it's like my purpose, really. Well, I feel like my purpose, even with pursuing medical school and medicine itself, has always been to help other people. And I realized, kind of doing clinicals as a nursing major, that, at the hospital, you're really not doing very much of that. You're doing a lot more just giving them pills, not really therapeutic communication. A lot of the times you're teaching your patients, hey, listen, you shouldn't be smoking even though they have lung cancer, and they continue to do it. And I don't know, I just feel like it's not something that really fulfills me, and it's not like a tangible life change that I'm seeing, that I'm able to contribute to. So I decided, I feel like I heard about the English proverb of like, teach a man to fish and then you'll feed them for the rest of their life, something like along those lines.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do that. I felt like maybe I can make a bigger difference in someone's life by teaching. So I'm really passionate about that. I want to be able to do that and make a tangible change in someone's life.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that you didn't find satisfaction in pre-med because pretty much, yes, you're helping others, but at the same time you didn't find fulfillment in that part of like helping, and you want to do more by teaching.
Yes.
And teaching others by teaching them, you are kind of doing like a ripple effect.
Yes.
Alright, okay, awesome. Yes. So tell me about the situation about you switching majors. What concerns you about switching?
My family, of course. It's also myself, my own insecurities, and then I guess the feedback that I've been getting with my friends and family, and even some teachers, some professors,
So I hear you're getting feedback from friends and teachers. What type of feedback?
A little bit of everything. I've been getting some negative feedback, some positive feedback. From both.
So you're saying negative and positive. Can you describe the negative and positive feedback you've been getting from?
Yeah. Well, with regards to the negative feedback, I'm getting a lot of teachers don't make very much. So if you were to become a teacher, you wouldn't be able to make very much money, and it's a rough job also to even get into in order to if I wanted to get into the Adventist school system, it's rough kind of to find a job. And with the positive feedback I've been getting, it's something that people see that I could actually be doing. And actually in church, I was part of the Adventures group, and I was one of the teachers. So that's kind of where my passion initiated, where I kind of started to realize, hey, I'm kind of good at this, and I really like teaching little kids. So that's kind of where it started, and she was a really big influence, the coordinator of the Adventures group.
Wow, it sounds really great that you have this church activity actually bring or show you that you have this passion for children, and having kind of like a mentor guiding you towards seeing I work well with children. So that's really something great to have in your life. I want to explore a little bit more about your family. You said your parents are more pushing towards pre-med. How do you think they would react if you were to tell them that you are thinking or that you have a passion for education or working with children?
I think they would be pretty disappointed. My life has kind of been geared towards that. I've learned, another language in order for that to be a skill that I could be okay, well, in medical school, at least she can speak 3 languages, which would be really helpful, or she has this other skill or whatnot. And so my life has kind of been geared towards that, and my parents as well. It's ever since I was young, they've been calling me Dr. Serrano, and they put me in several classes for me to gain more knowledge and inquire. They've also really inquired about medical schools, and every time I talk to them, it's how's your GPA, and these are the requirements for med school. So it's definitely something that would probably affect them a lot more than it would affect me. But yeah, I don't see them reacting very well to that.
Well, Genesis, during this session, I want to do something with you. I want to do this EcoMath thing. So let me explain it to you real quick. So what we're going to do is that your name will actually go in the middle, because this is about you.
Okay.
And all the things around you, like family or environments around you that kind of help influence you in your daily life. So right here, explain that right here has 2 solid lines is a strong connection. So that means it brings something positive to your life. And then you have this kind of crooked, squiggly line, and this is kind of a conflict connection, and this is something negative that kind of affects more. You came in today to tell me about the pressure that you're feeling about switching majors. So anything that around that does that to your life that brings negative, and then you have just a straight line where it's neutral, doesn't really affect you, but it's there.
Yeah.
Everyday life. Yeah. So what I would like for you to do is just fill it in, and any of these circles, fill in anything that in your environment that helps you out with that. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like me to speak out loud?
Yes, okay. Please.
Okay, so the first one, I guess, putting my parents. And then I connect it to myself, right?
Right. So would you say your parents in this situation is a negative or strong or neutral?
No, I think it would definitely be a conflict connection.
Okay.
My friends.
Okay.
My friends. They've actually been very supportive about it, and they've really told me that it would be something that they could see me doing. So I would definitely put this as a strong connection. My advisor, she was actually really helpful too when I spoke to her, and she also told me that it would be something that, I should be considering, so I would put this as a strong connection.
Well, it's really good that you identify that you have someone there in your life that can actually impact you and help you and support you in that, so that's really awesome.
What else? Could I be my own negative connection?
Sure. If you could be your
In
own,
a sense.
in a sense, if it's negative towards these things.
Okay. Okay. What else do I have? Oh, I had a certain professor who told me that it probably wasn't a very good idea because of the job, like the demand, the low demand.
Do you look up to this professor?
I do. He's someone I've been very close to since the beginning.
Okay. So I can see how frustrating it is to hear from someone that you thought was really admirable tell you something negative about something that you feel like pursuing.
My significant other. I think this. I think my significant other is kind of neutral about my decision. He's very. Yeah, I just decide whatever I decide to do. I'll be okay with my significant other.
So I know you said that he just helps whatever you decide. He goes with the flow.
Yeah.
Could you describe a little bit more what you mean by neutral?
I mean, I've told him certain times about how I feel and maybe expecting some kind of advice, and I guess because he realizes like the important factors that take into place when it comes to deciding to change or not, like my parents, he kind of decides not to interfere in that because I don't know, just decides not to. So he kind of tells me just like, listen, you decide whatever you want, and I'll back you up regardless. And my adventures leader.
Oh, the one with the church?
Yeah, with the church. I would mark this as a pretty strong connection.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, is there anything else you would like to add, or you think this looks about right? We can add with later sessions. We can add as we go if you would like to come back to this. But do you think this looks about right?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So I can see, you have your negatives, you have your strong, and you have a neutral. Mm-hmm. Do any of these contribute to to each other that you can think of? I mean, it's okay if you don't think of that.
What do you mean by contribute?
So, do you feel like one of these also affects each other, which affects you in a way? So, do they correlate?
Do they correlate? Sorry, can you explain that again?
Yeah, no, sure. So, I'll give you an example. Okay. So, it's like your friends and parents. Do you feel like they correlate in a way that also influences, the stress or the pressure of not wanting to switch majors, if that kind of makes sense? Or like your significant other and parents, like you mentioned earlier, that you mentioned saying that he doesn't want to get involved with your parents and doesn't want the conflict. So So would you say that kind of also affects you in a way?
Oh yeah, definitely as well.
So would you say like these connect as a negative or neutral or strong? That's what I'm trying to explain.
Oh, okay, I understand. Yeah. Well, I guess with my significant other and my parents, because these are two very important influences in my life, and I guess people in my life as well. Yeah, I would feel like this is kind of like a conflict in a way, because I would expect a little bit more input from my significant other, but at the same time, I understand like him wanting to be neutral and not wanting to interfere with what my parents have decided.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, does it seem right? Or?
Yeah, other than that, it seems
all right. Well, I can see that, I can see a lot of positive things out of this, and I can also see a lot of things that also, why you are in the situation you are, feeling that pressure of not wanting to switch. During our session, I just want to recap what we talked about. Okay. We talked about that you are, just a little frustrated because you want to switch majors to education, but you're feeling pressure from your parents, from just professors and friends telling you why you shouldn't switch or why you should switch, and you just want to do something that you love, and it's just you're trying to find ways to get to that main goal of switching and actually doing something that you feel would be something affecting others and changing others' lives and helping them. and something that you feel will be fulfilling. Yeah. Well, this is all the time we have, Genesis, but I want to continue meeting up so we can discuss more about how, to move towards that goal, like of going towards your career, the passion that you have for that career. Would you like to continue these sessions?
I would.
All right, awesome. At the same time, same place,
Great.
work for you. Yeah. All right. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure meeting you too.
See you next time.
Okay.